Proverbs 21, verse 20. The wise have wealth and luxury, but fools spend whatever they get. Now, if you go back to the beginning of the Old Testament, we read that Solomon was the richest man that ever lived. So anytime the richest man that ever lived is willing to give you some financial advice, I would suggest you lean in. Here, Solomon tells his boys the keys to being in the top 1%. Hey man, if you want to be financially savvy, if you want to be independent, if you want to be secure in your finances and in your life, there's a couple of things that you can take into account. What's going to separate you from the rest of the world, Solomon says, because the rest of the world is broke. The rest of the world is maxing out their credit cards. They're living outside of their means, and they stress every day over their finances. Am I going to have enough paycheck for the amount of month that is left until I get paid again? So Solomon gives some simple advice. Hey guys, spend less than you make. Always live within your means. Now listen, I know that takes discipline. That takes a financial plan. It takes some forethought on your part. But I'm telling you, if you will spend less than you make, then you'll never struggle with finances. That's one of the ways that you can create margin in your life. Margin, here's the way I like to think about it. Margin is the space between your current loads and your limits. Margin is the gap between rest and complete exhaustion. The space in your life between breathing freely and feeling like the world is caving in and you're suffocating on all of its problems. Between operating in your sweet spot and being completely overwhelmed in life. Solomon gives some key financial advice because he doesn't want his sons to struggle in that area. Verse 23 next, watch your tongue and keep your mouth shut, and you will stay out of trouble. Here he goes back to jumping from subject to subject to subject. First it was money. Now it was like, hey guys, can I just tell you something? There's going to be some times in life where the best thing that you can do is just not say anything at all. I know you want to say things. I know you want to jump into a conversation or a rebuttal or jump to defend yourself. But sometimes, Solomon says, not just what you say, but how you say it really matters. Sometimes keeping your mouth shut will keep you out of trouble. Wisdom is knowing what to say. Discernment is knowing where and how to say it. Solomon says all of that stuff matters. Your mouth can get you in trouble. I mean, think about some of the problems that you've had in the past with relationships, maybe at work, with family members. I bet a lot of those problems can be traced back to words. Something that was said, some tone that was used, maybe an argument that was had, and it just compounded. Solomon encourages his sons, hey man, sometimes just keep it closed. Know when to say something and know when to just keep your mouth closed. You don't have to say everything that pops into your mind. Sometimes you just think it and you process it and you move on. Verse 30, no wisdom, no understanding, no counsel can avail against the Lord. I don't know if you've ever met people like this, but some people are just convinced that they're smarter than God, that they can outsmart God and outthink God. Some people think my plan is better than God's. I know better than God, that God got it wrong when he said that, when he recorded his word. Times have changed, like God is old-fashioned. I'm a lot smarter than him. Now, man, Solomon says this is a good way for you to get embarrassed in life. For you to start thinking that you know more and you know better than God. Good luck with that. Listen, you're playing checkers, God is playing chess. You think you know, God already knows. Solomon says, listen, there's going to be times, boys, where you think you're wise and you think you got understanding and you think you know what you're doing. Seek the Lord. None of that compares to the wisdom that God has and that he makes available for us. Here's the last verse, one of my favorite verses in this chapter. The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but the victory belongs to the Lord. Solomon isn't telling his sons not to prepare. He's not saying don't think, don't strive, don't come up with a strategy. But here's the reality that people of God realize. You and I can prepare, we can pray, we can strive, we can work hard, we can execute, we can get our life and our plan as good as we possibly can. We can prepare the horse for the day of battle, but the victory belongs to God. There's only one person that can see it across the finish line. The one that produces the results in our lives is God. The only one that can bring about the harvest is God. We can plant and till the soil and put the seed in the ground and pray and water all we want to, but the growth belongs to God. Today, I want you to get to a point where you can pray to God and say, God, I've done all that I can do. I have worked, I have prepared, I've been diligent in the process leading up to where I am right now. But listen, God, it's up to you. If these results are going to be produced, it's going to be your hand on them, your hand making it happen. I trust you, God, to lead me to the victory that you have for me next. Money and your mouth. Proverbs chapter 21.